Happiness is often treated like a mystery. But what if happiness isn't that complicated? What if the way you feel every day, motivated, calm, connected, or completely empty, is strongly influenced by four chemicals inside your brain: endorphin, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin? These chemicals don't just affect your mood, they shape your behavior, your habits, your relationships, and even your life decisions. The problem is, modern life is quietly hijacking all four. We chase dopamine without meaning. We numb pain instead of earning endorphins. We replace serotonin with comparison. And we trade oxytocin for convenience. Today, we're going to break down each one: how it works, how real life affects it, and why understanding these chemicals might completely change how you approach happiness. Chemical number one, dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical of anticipation. Contrary to popular belief, dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about wanting. It spikes when you expect a reward, not when you receive it. This is why scrolling feels addictive, why notifications feel exciting, why chasing goals sometimes feels better than achieving them. Think about this. When you really want something, a new phone, a new job, a relationship, or even a vacation, you feel energized. You imagine it. You plan for it. You feel excited just thinking about it. That excitement isn't happiness, that's dopamine. Now notice what usually happens after you finally get it. The phone arrives. The job starts. The relationship becomes normal. And suddenly, the excitement fades. Not because the thing is bad, but because dopamine has already done its job. This is the clearest real-life example that dopamine is not about pleasure. It's about pursuit. From a scientific perspective, dopamine spikes during anticipation and effort. It motivates behavior. It pushes you to act, explore, and pursue. Once the reward is obtained, dopamine levels drop back to baseline. But modern systems exploit this system aggressively. Social media, online shopping, notifications, fast entertainment. These platforms create constant dopamine spikes without effort or meaning. The brain adapts. Baseline dopamine sensitivity drops, and suddenly, normal life feels boring. This is why people say, "I have no motivation anymore." But motivation didn't disappear. It was overstimulated. In real life, healthy dopamine comes from progress: learning a skill, working toward a goal, solving a problem. Unhealthy dopamine comes from shortcuts, instant rewards without effort. Neuroscience shows that dopamine systems respond better to delayed rewards and effort-based achievement. That's why finishing a difficult project feels more satisfying than endless entertainment. Dopamine doesn't ask, "Did this make you happy?" It asks, "Is this worth pursuing?" And if you keep chasing shortcuts, your brain forgets how to pursue meaning. Chemical number two, serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical of stability and self-worth. It plays a major role in mood regulation, confidence, and long-term emotional balance. Unlike dopamine, serotonin isn't about excitement. It's about feeling okay with yourself. From a biological perspective, serotonin increases when you feel respected, valued, and socially secure. This is why social status matters, not for ego, but for nervous system safety. But here's where serotonin becomes dangerous in modern life. Because instead of earning self-worth through growth, contribution, and mastery, people are now taking shortcuts, buying branded items, posting luxury moments, showing status online. For a moment, it works. You post something. You get likes, you get attention. Your serotonin rises briefly, not because your life improved, but because your image did. The effect is temporary. After a few days, people forget. The likes stop. The attention moves on, and now you're left chasing the next thing. Another purchase, another post, another illusion of worth. This creates a silent cycle. You spend money not to improve your life, but to borrow validation. And borrowed validation never lasts. Scientifically, serotonin built through external validation is unstable. It depends on others, and anything dependent on others is fragile. Real and lasting serotonin comes from long-term effort, developing skills, building competence, earning respect from yourself before anyone else. This is why people who quietly improve their lives often feel calmer and more confident, even without public recognition. While those chasing appearance-based worth feel anxious, restless, and never satisfied. Serotonin isn't boosted by likes. It's built through consistency, self-respect, and progress. And without it, happiness feels unstable no matter how much you achieve. Chemical number 3, oxytocin. Oxytocin is the chemical of connection, trust, and emotional bonding. It's released when you feel safe with someone, when you are heard, when you experience closeness, physically or emotionally. From an evolutionary standpoint, oxytocin helped humans survive in groups. It reinforced trust and cooperation. This is why hugs feel calming, why genuine conversations feel grounding, why loneliness hurts physically. But in modern life, oxytocin is quietly declining. And one of the biggest reasons is how we date and connect today. We communicate through screens. We replace depth with speed. We avoid vulnerability. Dating apps give you something that feels powerful. Options. Hundreds of profiles, endless matches, always someone new to swipe. At first it feels exciting, but the hidden cost is depth. When choices feel limitless, commitment feels risky. Why invest time and patience when another option is one swipe away? So people stop trying to understand. Stop being patient. Stop working through discomfort. One wrong word, one boring conversation, one small flaw, and instead of communicating, they move on. This destroys oxytocin because oxytocin is not built through abundance. It's built through repetition, patience, and shared vulnerability. Real connection requires time, misunderstandings, effort. But when replacement is easy, bonding feels unnecessary. Scientifically, oxytocin increases through sustained interaction and emotional safety. Quick switching resets the system. This is why many people today feel surrounded by options yet deeply lonely. You can chat with multiple people every day and still feel unseen. Because connection isn't about access, it's about presence. Oxytocin doesn't respond to quantity, it responds to depth. And when depth disappears, relationships become disposable, and loneliness becomes normalized. Real connection isn't always exciting. There are quiet days, awkward moments, uncomfortable conversations. But when things fall apart, she's still there with you. That's oxytocin. Not the thrill of choice, but the safety of staying. Chemical number 4, endorphin. Endorphins are your body's natural painkillers. They're released when you experience physical stress, exercise, cold exposure, injury. From a biological perspective, endorphins evolved to help humans survive discomfort. When your ancestors ran long distances to hunt, when they endured cold nights or physical strain, endorphins dulled pain and replaced it with a subtle sense of relief and strength. That's why after intense exercise, people often say, "I feel tired, but good." That feeling isn't motivation, it's chemistry. In modern life, however, physical discomfort has nearly disappeared. We sit more than we move. We avoid cold, heat, hunger, and effort. And when endorphins aren't triggered, the body becomes more sensitive to stress and pain. This is why people who rarely move often feel mentally heavier. Small problems feel overwhelming because the nervous system never practices discomfort. From a scientific standpoint, regular physical activity increases endorphin production and reduces perceived stress. Real-life example. People who run, lift weights, or even walk daily often report better mood stability. Not because life is easier, but because their nervous system is stronger. Endorphins teach you a powerful lesson. Happiness doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from getting through it. The relief after struggle is what endorphins are made for. Conclusion. Happiness isn't random. And it's not a personality trait. It's chemistry, shaped by how you live. Endorphins remind you that effort matters. Dopamine teaches you what's worth pursuing. Serotonin anchors your sense of self. Oxytocin connects you to something beyond yourself. The modern world doesn't destroy happiness directly. It distorts these systems. Understanding them doesn't mean chasing feelings. It means designing a life that works with your biology, not against it. Because when you stop blaming yourself and start understanding your brain, happiness stops feeling like a mystery and starts feeling like something you can build.